All right. Yeah, looks like we're live. Looks like everything's working. Let me get the disclaimers out of the way. We'll jump into it. This is the weekly live broadcast. Those of you guys are here all the time, you already know the rules, but I'll just go through them all kind of quick. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. It does not matter to me if you want to talk about controversial topics like politics, religion, or you want to talk about quail and rabbits and gardening and those kinds of things. It doesn't matter. I let the chat kind of drive the way that the conversation is going to go. I don't really have a topic planned out. I do my best to respond to every chat that comes in during the live broadcast itself. The only thing I ask from you is be polite, keep it family friendly. Don't be hateful, rude with anybody. Don't start cussing anybody, calling anybody names, any of those kinds of things. We can have differences of opinions and still be friends. That's the way I look at it anyway. Well, like I said, let's jump into it and we'll get to answering some chats. Don't have a lot of people in here right now. Only about 5, 6 people, it looks like, and only 2 chats to respond to so far. Getting a slow start today, but we'll pick up, I'm sure. We got Catherine Fuller from Sun City, Arizona. Hello to you. Thank you for joining tonight. And Buck Reynolds from Catoosa, Oklahoma. Hopes everybody is well. I'm doing pretty well. Hopefully you are too. We've warmed back up. If you saw my last video, it was oh my gosh, just crazy weather on Sunday. It was insane. We started off at 69 degrees in the morning, and then whenever I got up that morning, it was 69 degrees, and then by I want to say it was by 4 o'clock, it had dropped down into the 30s, and it was snowing. We had snow. We actually had what they called a snow squall, which I don't know that I've ever heard of before, but anyhow, snow squall come through, and we were down to 15 degrees by the next morning. But now we're back up. Today was like almost 80 degrees. I think it was 75, 76 degrees, something like that. And, it was 55 degrees when I woke up this morning. So back up to warm weather again. Very, very weird weather we've been having here. Anyway, we got Lee Bullis, maybe. Lee Bullis says, good evening, Lee from Portage, Ohio. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Andy Dundas is here. Good to see you. Joy Guthrie from Western Oregon. Hello to you too. With some smiley faces there. So hopefully that means you're in a good mood and having a good day. We got Cal Troy. I don't know if that's one word, Cal Troy or Cal Troy. I don't know. Anyway, it says, hey, Chris, hope you're well. Have not seen your channel in my YouTube for ages. Just wondering what your gardening plans are for this year. All the best, Caleb. Well, thank you. It's Caleb then. I'll probably forget that and just keep calling you Cal Troy, but you know who I'm talking to when I do, right? So, well, yeah, thanks for joining tonight. Appreciate it. I have been putting out some videos. I don't know why they're not coming across, but it's okay. I've slowed down a little bit on videos, of course, but I have been still putting out some. I've got the garden all cleaned up. I actually, I took yesterday off work. I had a little bit of a problem with my water heater. It had been leaking, just a slow leak. So I called a plumber because I don't know a lot about water heaters. And if it did need to be replaced, I'd rather have them do it than me. So anyway, I called a plumber to come out and check it out, and they were coming out yesterday afternoon. So I figured I'll just take the whole day off work. So I got up in the morning, went out and got some compost from the compost facility, brought it back, put it all, spread it out on the garden beds. So I've got compost on the garden beds now. That's all taken care of. That took me till about noon. And then the plumber showed up at like 1 o'clock. And ends up, it wasn't really my water heater that was leaking. It was like the lines coming in. They were really old, and pretty sure that's where the leak had been coming from. So he replaced all those. Ended up much cheaper than replacing a whole water heater, and much easier. And everything seems good so far, so that's good. But anyway, plans for the garden this year, the normal stuff: tomatoes, okra, squash, cucumbers, peppers, some jalapenos, maybe some habaneros, and probably some oh my goodness, I'm spaced out on the other chilies that I grow. The other the one they use for chili relleno. Oh my gosh, what's it called? I always have it right there in my. You'll know what I'm talking about. Maybe my wife can't handle bell peppers. She doesn't like bell peppers, so we grow those instead of bell pepper and substitute them. It's a it'll come to me here in a bit. Anyway, that's kind of the plan. What I'm going to be growing this year. I don't know. Maybe something else will stick in there. Have no idea, honestly, yet. But I am getting the garden ready. We got Connie Clayton from Fountain, Florida. I'm not sure where Fountain, Florida is, but I know it's in Florida, I guess. So thank you for joining all the way from Florida. Appreciate that. Catherine Fuller says Hask. No, is that a type of pepper? I don't know that if that's a type of pepper. Is that what you were referring to? I don't know what that is. I don't know what Hask is. I'm sorry, I did a search for it. I don't see any peppers references Hask. Poblano, that's what I'm talking about. Poblanos. I do like poblanos, but no, I don't know what a Hask pepper is. I did a Google search and it didn't come up with anything, so I don't know. Couchroy says, good for you. I'm in Canada, Southern Ontario, so a ways away from gardening yet, but looking forward to it. I also used to watch your quail videos when I had quail. Just have Wyandotte chickens now. Interesting. Wyandotte chickens, huh? Let me look that up real quick because I'm kind of curious. What the heck's going on here? Where do they come from? I'm kind of curious because the reason I say that, yeah, it's a dual purpose bird. I'm kind of familiar with them, but I don't know where they originated from. But the Wyandotte Nation is just right across. I mean, just not like 10 miles from here. Not even. It's pretty close. So kind of interesting. You're way up there, and we have a connection of some kind, I guess. But anyhow, let's see. Couchray says American breed 4 colors. Talking about the Wyandotte chickens. Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with Wyandotte chickens, but I don't know if they're named that after Wyandotte Nation, like the Wyandotte Indian Nation. I don't know if that's what it comes from. I don't know. Kiersey says, good day, Chris from Australia. Been a while since I've joined a live. Life's busy, but good. Well, thank you for joining. I imagine it's, what is it, early morning there? No, it's mid. I can't remember what time it is there. So I imagine it doesn't come on at a time where it makes it easy for you to join. But hey, I appreciate making the effort and coming by, and I'm glad to hear that things are going well for you. Caltroy says, I think they were named after that nation. So yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they be, right? I mean, Wyandotte. How many Wyandottes are there? I don't know. I could do a search for that too, I guess. But let's see what Wyandotte. If I just do a search for Wyandotte, yeah, I get historic city. Oh, there's a city in Michigan named Wyandotte as well. So that could be where they come from. But yeah, the Wyandotte Nation is just, I mean, right across the border in Oklahoma. I mean, it's not very far away from here at all. Kiersey says just after 11 a.m. here. Well, I guess that's not terrible. I mean, but if you're like me, I work during the day, so I wouldn't be able to make a live broadcast at 11 a.m. It would be difficult. So anyhow, while we're waiting on chat to catch up to us, so yeah, I worked pretty hard yesterday. It was a little bit of work putting the so a couple of stories about that actually. So, I go to the compost facility. There's nothing. I mean, the compost facility is just a compost pile out there. I mean, you have to load it up yourself. So, there's a little bit of work getting it loaded up. I loaded up 3/4 of my bed of my truck with compost, and finally just figured that was probably enough, and it was. It was just enough. Came back home, and I've got double gates that lead into my backyard. There's a big redbud tree right there. You may have seen it in some of my videos or not, but kind of hangs over. So anyway, it's a tight fit getting in through that gate, not hitting the tree, getting into the backyard with my truck. So I'm driving through there trying not to hit the tree limbs too much, and and I misjudged something and hit the fence. Just not hard. I didn't tear the fence up, but I did put a pretty good scratch in the bed of my truck. So it could be worse. It's not the end of the world. So anyway, then I got the chainsaw out and cut off those limbs that were hanging over that direction. So it gives me a little bit more room to get in and out of that fence or that gate. And hopefully I will not have any issues like that anymore. But anyway, Tony with the hard last name from Toronto. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Warren's Life says, hey guys, hope everyone had a great day. I got into my bees, made some splits and added honey supers and got some therapy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what all that stuff is. Made some splits, so you split your hive, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know what honey supers are, but I guess that's all good. Guess congratulations. I don't know. I don't know exactly what all that means, but I think it was all good. So that's what I'm going to go with. All right, what else we got? Slow chat tonight. 23 people in here. Grab a drink real quick. Let's see. I don't have any more stories to tell, I don't think. What else happened yesterday? What else did I do? That was pretty much it. By the time I got done doing that, I was pretty worn out. Um, loading it up, then coming and unloading it and spreading it all on the garden. I was pretty worn out. But like I said, luckily, did not have to get a new water heater. That was a pretty easy fix. Cal Troy says, "How many quail do you keep roughly the same as a couple of years ago?" Well, kind of. I mean, I keep somewhere around a dozen hens, 3 roosters for breeders, and then I'll hatch out a bunch, and those will primarily be meat birds. I'll just raise them up for meat. Every once in a while, I just replace my breeders with new ones from my recent hatch. But usually, I mean, as far as keep permanently, a dozen or so hens, 3 roosters, roughly. That's about kind of what I'm usually at. Kierancy says, "How's the price of diesel/fuel over there?" Well, I don't drive a diesel, so I don't really keep track of the price of diesel. Gas right now for unleaded, the basic unleaded, is just a little over $3 a gallon. I want to say it was like 308, I think, yesterday when I saw it. I didn't look at it today, so I don't know. Let me see if I can look it up real quick for you. Let's see. We've got oh, that can't be right. Now maybe it's come down. They're saying like 259 and 261 at these different gas stations around. I don't think that's right. I think it was around $3. Yeah, that seems a little bit more reasonable. $3.10 a gallon or something like that. I don't know. It'll come back down. Give it a little bit of time. Jalopy guy says, "Hey Chris, do you have a Rose of Jericho resurrection plant for your work desk?" No, I don't. I think I've heard of that before, but I'm not super familiar with them. GH Michael says, "Hey Chris, Honey Supers is the box you place on the top of the hive when the colony has built up enough to start storing a massive amount of honey." Okay, so what's the purpose of it then? Is it just for a place for them to produce more honey in, or I mean, is that I don't know what the reason for it is. I guess. Joy Guthrie says, "Over here in Oregon, we're almost at $5 a gallon." Yeah, that's it's always more expensive over there on that side of the country. I don't know why, but it is always more expensive over there. Kiersey says $3 a gallon. That's amazing compared to here in Australia. We nearly paying $3 per liter for diesel and about $2.50 for fuel per liter, huh? How many liters per gallon? It's like 4, isn't it? I can't ever remember that. I always have 3.78 liters per gallon. Yeah, that's pretty pricey then. So I guess you're like a little over 3 times as expensive as what we pay here, huh? Life Done Cheap with Lee says gas is $3.74 here in Ohio. So is that like premium, or is that like the lowest octane? I was quoting the lowest octane. So if you go for premium, yeah, it's like $3.70-ish, about that price for premium. GH Michael says, yeah, it's to store up more honey that beekeepers would harvest. Gotcha. Life Done Cheap with Lee says unloaded. I think he means unleaded. And EUC Josh says 480 in Phoenix. Yeah, that's high. It's definitely high. I agree. We got spoiled with some of those low gas prices over the last, several months, and now it's back up to where it was before, or a little higher in some areas, maybe. I don't know. Warren's Life says, thanks. Bees start to grow in the spring, so we need to remove extra honey frames out of the hive so they will have empty comb and foundation to put nectar and pollen. When they fill up, they leave. Gotcha, that makes sense. Life Done Cheap with Lee says, unleaded. Yeah, I knew you meant unleaded. I knew what that meant. But that doesn't really answer. I mean, there's like different kinds of unleaded. There's regular unleaded. I don't even know why we call it unleaded anymore. I mean, how long has it been since we've had leaded gas? I mean, I can still remember it, but I was young when they got rid of unleaded or leaded gas. Anyhow, regular unleaded, the lower octane's like what, 86% or 86 octane or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of the one I kind of base the gas prices on. I usually use the mid grade in my truck, but I usually just kind of look at the lowest one as the price. So we're kind of comparing apples to apples. Donna says, "Hey Chris, how's it doing? How's it going? I can't seem to find information on grit size for quail. Not too bothered about gas. It costs $7 US over here. Yeah, holy cow, that's pretty expensive. As far as grit size for quail, honestly, if you're just buying like play sand or something for them, it's gonna. I don't know the exact size they need, but that's gonna have plenty. I mean, it works as grit for them. It's gonna work out just fine. I don't know exactly what size grit to tell you to get, but pretty small. I just don't know what that is exactly. UC Josh says we were at 275 a month ago. Yeah, well, a month ago that was before there was a big skirmish in Iran, and the gas, the oil prices kind of went up a little bit. I actually have oil money that comes in every month or so. I don't get much from it, but turns out like my great grandfather, I think it was, maybe a great grandfather, I don't know, one of those back in the line, bought some land down in Texas and never did anything with it, apparently. I don't know what happened, but it never got sold or anything, so it's still in the family name. And they started drilling for oil on it. And now that we're back to drilling for oil in the United States again, I get a payout from it about every month or so, and it's not much. It's usually like $25-$30. But yeah, we had somebody contact us several years ago and say, hey, talking about this oil land that we had in the family, and I'm like, who is this? What's going on? I thought it was a scam. But no, it turned out to be a real thing. But he had like 12 kids, so it's spread out amongst a bunch of people. So I don't know how many, but there's a whole bunch of family like I've never met. I don't know them at all, but they are distant relatives of mine that are probably getting these payouts too. Warren's Life says the object is to keep them in the box to make you honey. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you give them more room to make more honey, because if they fill up on honey, they don't need to make any more. And like somebody, who was it? Warren's Life says that they leave if they run out of honey. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I get it. Dre Guthrie says I use regular. Yeah, I do too sometimes, but most of the time I get the mid-grade. My truck actually calls for the higher octane. I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but I use it. The Buck Stops Here Homestead says, hey, Chris, do you bream/perch fish? It's getting about that time here in South Mississippi. I don't really necessarily fish for perch, but I catch them sometimes. I mean, they'll hit when I'm fishing for bass and other things, they'll hit those lures, and I do catch them sometimes. Very seldom do I catch any that are big enough to like fillet out. I do like perch. If you can get one big enough to fillet, they're good eating. But I don't usually, I don't catch them that big usually. Occasionally I'll catch one pretty good size like that. But not usually. Usually it's the smaller ones that are hitting the lures, and every once in a while catch one. They happen to get the hook part in their mouth. Warren's Life says when they leave, they take half the bees and workforce in half and half your honey. Oh, so they take honey with them when they leave, huh? Interesting. I never thought about that. Buck Reynolds says, I'm fixing to go in the egg business for some of the restaurants I sell rabbits to. They want farm fresh eggs. Going to buy 100 laying hen. Nice. I wish I kind of had an outlet for some of that stuff, but I don't. Of course, I haven't really approached restaurants or anything about it. I should probably, because that would make sense, wouldn't it? Of course, I'm kind of limited with what I can do. I don't have that much land, and I live in the city. But G. Michael says Chris is an oil baron. Yeah, I tell everybody I got oil money. I got oil land, but it's not Beverly Hillbillies kind of money. It's like I said, like 25, $30 a month, maybe. Let me double check and see. I'll check real quick and tell you what I got this month or last month. I don't know when it came in. Let's see real quick if I can get logged in here. I'll tell you how much payment I got for the oil money. Let's see, I got this month was $20.66. And I don't know if I got one last month or not. Let me see how I can figure out how to go back. There we go. Let's do that. It was $10.86 in January. And then occasionally it'll be like a bigger amount. I don't know. But it's not a lot of money, so it's not hardly even worth it. I mean, it's better than nothing, I suppose. But I'm not getting rich off my oil land. Let's put it that way. Now, if some people start dying off, in the family, then maybe it'll become more for me because, like my aunt, my mom's sister, my mom has passed away, my dad has passed away, so it's me and my sister. We split what would have gone to my mom, and then my aunt, so she gets double basically what we get. Still not a lot. We're not making much money off of it, but it was kind of a cool thing to. And I got to one of the coolest things about that, honestly, was that they sent me the ancestry stuff that showed the family tree, how it was all tracked back to him and how it got tracked down to us. And so I got to see the family history, of all the people on. It was on my mom's side of the family. I think it was my grandmother's, my mom's mother's line up that direction that it came from. But anyhow, that was kind of neat being able to see some of that kind of stuff, kind of interesting. But other than that, no, I'm not making any money off that. All right, what else we got? We've had nothing coming in for just a little bit. I've been doing my best to keep talking and filling up the dead air, but I don't have anything more to discuss. I've told you guys my stories from the weekend, and I put a big scratch down the side of the truck. It's not terribly big, but it's big enough. It was a bummer. All right. Is everybody still there? Did I lose connection or something? Somebody let me know that you can hear me and that we're still live, actually, and I'm not just talking to nobody. Harmony Quail 2024 says, hello, everybody. Hello to you too. Thank you for joining. There you go. Donna says I'm still there. Okay, so I'm still here. It's just quiet tonight. You guys are, and I'm not upset about it. It's just when you rely on the chat to kind of drive the broadcast, I don't have anything to talk about during the dead air. But yeah, it is getting close to fishing season here as well. I probably could go this weekend if I really wanted to, but I don't think I'll be able to get away this weekend. But it's also getting real close to turkey season. Well, we got about almost a month, a little over a month left before we can hunt turkey. But I have been seeing a few turkey here and there on the trail cameras. I hope they kind of stick around for a little while. Kiersey says, I've got a hunting trip next weekend. The deer over here are coming into their mating season. Where is that? Where are you? You're in Australia, right? So, yeah, interesting. Our hunting season is in November, actually late September through November. Buck Reynolds says, you are they. I think you mean you are there, right? Yeah. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I guess it is going into wintertime for you guys in Australia, though, isn't it? We're going into spring and summer, so other side of the world. Strange. It is getting pretty good for mushroom weather. I haven't been out and done any mushroom hunting, but I'm sure that there are some to find. Little low on rain, so maybe not, but the temperatures are just about right. G. Michael or GH Michael wants to know: are you presenting at QuailCon this year, and is that still going on? I haven't heard. I don't know if it's going on or not. I need to reach out to Zach and find out. I've had a couple of people ask, but I do not know. I haven't heard one way or the other whether it's actually going to happen this year or not. So yeah, once I find out for sure, I'll let you know. But let me. I'll message him real quick. I doubt he'll be able to respond right now, but you never know. All right, we'll see. He may respond to us before the end of the broadcast. He'll usually respond to me, but he's not always immediate. He's pretty busy, got a lot going on. So we'll see. UC Josh says my in-laws in the Upper Michigan got 60 plus inches of snow, 36 plus, not 60, 36 plus inches of snow in 2 days, and it's 105 degrees here in Phoenix today. Yeah, we're not 105, but we did get snow on Sunday. Not that much. I mean, it barely even uh, covered the grass. I mean, it snowed pretty hard there for a little while, but it was just it had been too warm, so it wasn't sticking real well. But anyway, we did get snow, and then now we're up to 80 degrees. Buck Reynolds says, if I was you, I would talk to some restaurants about rabbits and quail. I may do that. I don't know. I don't have enough going on right now that I could really supply them with much, but I could always pick up my I could always pick up my, get some new rabbits and pick up the production on them or something like that. Quail are a little bit easier to bump up production on. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Sorry, I'm going to close out a couple of other things I've got open. I need to got too much going on my computer here. There's Chester Hickman. Says good evening to everyone. Good evening to you too. Good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. Appreciate it. And no response yet. We'll see. Eventually, I'll get a response. I'll kind of let you know as soon as I find out one way or the other. All right. Let's see what else is going on around here. Not much. I do have a couple of trees I need to cut down. I've got some calorie pears, Bradford pear trees. They're an invasive tree around here. A lot of people got them for like landscaping because they are kind of a pretty tree. They grow in a nice kind of pear shape. Put out some really pretty flowers in early spring, but they are invasive. So I've got a couple of them back there that I do need to cut down. I just need to get to it and do it. So I don't know when I'll get that done. But Captain Fuller says, I'm here. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Don says, I finally made it. Well, we've been waiting on you. No, we haven't been waiting on you, but I'm glad you made it, though. Thank you. And then Lecaton, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Anyway, says Veronica from Texas says hello. Well, hello to you too, and thank you for joining. How do I pronounce that? Lee Chat Noir. I don't know I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. I'm lost on your username. Is that a foreign language? I don't know. It's tough. Oh, pardon me. Oh, yawning. I wore myself out yesterday. I did sleep pretty well, but still trying to catch up on that. Worked pretty hard. Dawn says, my kids are 4 weeks old today already. Wow, I missed last week because Andy Rabbit was here. Well, that's all good. We appreciate you being here and 4-week old today. That's pretty good. they made it that far, they're probably going to be good. Yeah, mine are roughly 6 weeks old right now. Um, okay, so it means black cat in French. I still don't know how to pronounce it though, so that doesn't help me much. But interesting, means black cat in French. Okay, I guess that's probably Le Chat Noir, maybe like 3 words, kind of smashed together into one. I'm guessing. I don't speak French at all, so I don't know. Lee says, if you could only do one, which would you do, rabbits or quail, and why? I've gotten that question before, actually. I don't know. I would probably go with quail just because they're so much faster and easier if you need to like ramp up and get a whole bunch of meat production out of them. You can set as many eggs as you want and, get a bigger hatch, whereas you can't, there's nothing you can do if your rabbits don't want to breed or, you know, nothing you can do to make sure that they have more baby bunnies or anything like that. And just quail, I think, are probably easier in that sense. So I would probably do quail. Dawn says, "Are yours weaned, Chris?" She told me to wean mine at 6 weeks because the mother will be having kits again. Well, I haven't got her bred again, so I'm not too worried about weaning them off. They're still in with the mom. I only have 2. She only had 2 in this last litter, so I'll probably go ahead and wean them off here pretty quick and maybe try to breed her to my other buck just to see how she does on the next litter and see if it's an issue with the buck or the doe. I kind of think it's probably the doe, but I don't know that for sure. But yeah, if you've got 6 weeks is kind of the general. I know there's some people that wean earlier, but generally 6 weeks is kind of what the general consensus is on the right time to go ahead and wean your rabbits. You don't have to wean them at 6 weeks. But it's preferable to do it like no earlier than 6 weeks. So, that take that for what it is. But that's kind of, if you've got more babies that she's going to have kits, yeah, you probably do need to get them weaned off right at 6 weeks. Harmony Quail says, I have one jumbo brown quail that has been laying celadon eggs. I put a few in the incubator and had one hatch. And, sorry, y'all again. I was trying to fight that off. Couldn't help it. You're experimenting on trying to breed feather-sexable celadons. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, I mean, you should be able to. Celadon's just the gene that causes them to lay blue eggs. You said you had one jumbo brown quail that's been laying celadon eggs. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully, I don't see why not. You should be able to get some feather-sexable celadons. Good luck with it. Dawn says, I agree with Chris, quail are faster. Yep. Warren's Life says, had to help make the beds. Okay. I don't know what that's in reference to, but okay. Dawn says, you keep making me yawn, Chris, LOL. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I got plenty of sleep last night, but I am still kind of tired. I'll try to keep it under control. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Where we're at? We got like almost 30 minutes still left. We got plenty of time. Let's see. So much joy says, hey all. It's been a while. Finally caught a live stream. Well, hey, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. It has been a little while, hasn't it? But we don't keep attendance around here, so it's okay. But I'm glad to see you're back. Warren's Life says, I saw 15 more turkeys this evening. Nice. I wish I had that many out there. I mean, we see turkeys. We've got some trail cameras out, and we're seeing them occasionally, and sometimes a fairly decent size amount. But I think the biggest we've ever seen one group together was a couple of toms and about 10 hens. But that's like one time have we seen that, It's just not there's turkey, but there's not a ton of them, and they've got a lot of room to roam out there. So it's a little tricky turkey hunting where I turkey hunt. But, when I was younger, there weren't turkey at all there. So, hopefully they keep expanding and we get more and more. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I wish we had an area to hunt that had a lot more turkey in it. I watch those hunting shows where, man, there's turkey gobbling all over the place. Sometimes we go out there and we don't even hear a single turkey. I mean, it just, and then sometimes we hear them, never see them. They're just too far away. And then sometimes every great once in a while we'll see them, and sometimes we'll get one to actually come in close enough that we might get a shot off at it. But that's not. We go like we've been 2 or 3 years without getting a turkey yet. Did see some last year. I think it was last year. We saw some turkeys. My cousin and I, when we pulled into the hunting spot, they were right out in the field, right out in front of us, across the field. So we got out of the truck and they were kind of working their way down the field edge. These two toms, two big turkeys and a hen, and we went kind of around behind some trees down to the edge of the field. We started calling. Boy, they started coming. We got all excited. There's this little group of trees. The field kind of chokes down into a little spot, and then there's a group of trees, kind of a little island of trees right on the other side of that. And they were heading that way. So we got on the other side of that island, and we start calling to them. Boy, they're coming down this field. They go through that little choke down point, and instead of going this way around that little island of trees, they went that way. So they were right behind us. I mean, right, like within shooting distance behind us, but behind us. If you know anything about turkeys, they have really good eyesight. So we couldn't really do anything but just sit there until they walked off and never got them to come back. So Much Joy says, had a litter of 7 rabbits born 3 weeks ago. They're doing great. Was planning on butchering the sire, but I'm so impressed by his offspring fast growth rate, definitely keeping him for a while. Well, awesome. 7 born 3 weeks ago. That's a decent sized litter. And like you said, growing out so fast, yeah, keep a hold of him for a little while. Todd Jacobson says, I'm suddenly overloaded with eggs. South Florida, $4 a dozen, and 3 dozen for $10. Sound fair? That's actually, I don't know what your price, if people are buying them, if you have a decent market for them there, that seems a little bit cheap, honestly. But if you've got more eggs than you can sell, why not? Go for it. So Much Joy says, have turkey pullets hatching in our coop right now. Awesome. I've never hatched out turkeys. My grandma had some turkeys at one time when I was a young kid. They had like a flock. I don't know how many. I can't remember. I was really young. And I do remember they got around me at one point, and I wasn't any taller than they were, and they beat the tar out of me. Scared the heck out of me. I was probably, I don't know, maybe 4 years old, something like that. Todd says quail eggs, by the way. Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed, quail eggs. But yeah, poults, not pullets. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even catch that. Yeah, Andy Dundas says the yawning thing is apparently contagious. It is contagious, and every time I read it, I get the urge, but I've been fighting it back. So sorry. So Much Joy says, had another doe due yesterday. Bred with the same buck, but no kits. She had a litter in the past, and now as well. And he now as well. So they're proven. This is the second time I've bred and waited for her. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what's causing that. I don't know how old they are, but how old your rabbits are, if they're too old. Proven or not, if they're, on the older, like 5-ish, 6-ish years old, somewhere around in there, they could just be done. One or the other of them could be. I don't know. Hard to say. Sometimes that just happens, though. Try again and see. Yeah, you said she's almost 2, he's almost a year. Yeah, that's not too old at all. Who knows? Give her another shot. See what happens. So Much Joy says, y'all just made me swallow a yawn. LOL. Yeah, sorry about that. I can't help it. It's coming on again. Oh, you guys got me. You keep talking about it. I can't help it. It's contagious just when you talk about it. It's one of those things. I'll probably sleep pretty good tonight too, though. I'll tell you, all that shovel work and loading up a bed full of compost. I actually don't shovel the compost in, though. What I use is a 5-gallon bucket, and because it's a great big pile. So I just 5 gallon bucket, and I take the pitchfork with me and I knock a bunch of it loose if I need to, and it just pours right in that bucket, 5 gallons at a time. But that's I mean, it wears you out loading up a full bed of that, full truck bed of it. I didn't get the bulk bed completely full. Like I said, about 3/4 of the way full or so, but it was a lot of compost. The Our compost facility here, I kind of talked about this on a video, so this may be repeat for some of you guys that watched it. But the compost facility here is only open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, which doesn't work for me. I got a full-time job. I work Monday through Friday. But like I said, I took yesterday off, so it worked out. And that's why I did that partially. Yeah, that makes it very inconvenient to get over there and get compost. On the weekends, they're closed and they got the gates locked. You can't get in. I don't know why. They used to be open all the time. Basically, you'd go over there on a weekend and the gates were open. You could get in there and get compost. And I don't know if maybe some of like the commercial guys, commercial landscapers were going over there, because I have seen people go over there with like a skid steer, then loading it up with that and taking like tons of compost out of there. And I think maybe that's kind of what happened, and they're trying to just keep it for just the citizens and not the commercial guys. David Lister says, I'm here, huff and puff. So do you have to rush around? Is that it? Like race in to get on the live broadcast or something? Well, thank you for joining, though. Appreciate it. Oh, man, the chat is slow tonight. Oh, my back's kind of stiff. I don't know of I'm having a hard time coming up with anything to fill the dead air with. So Much Joy says, the doe that never had kits yesterday didn't have much of a dewlap either. And the doe that did have a litter, her dewlap is huge. Yeah, and you said she was 2 years old, though, right? Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure why she wouldn't have much of a dewlap. Where's the... She's almost 2 and he's a year. So at 2 years old, I mean, she's plenty old enough, and she's had a litter before. So she's plenty old enough. That shouldn't be an issue. I don't know if that means anything or not. Yeah, it's hard to say. You said not sure what it is. It is hard to say for sure. I mean, I'm not sure what to tell you other than just try again. If she's willing to lift, you say she looks and acts healthy. Yeah, I mean, weird things have happened before. I've had does that didn't have, I thought they were done, and then all of a sudden they started producing good litters again. So you just never know for sure. Usually I give them at least 3 tries before I count them out. And, try to get a different buck too, and try out a different buck if you need to. I mean, with him, you said he's actually produced a litter before too, but being almost a year old, he shouldn't be too young, but he may be a little bit on the young side. That may be part of the issue. I don't know. And I don't remember where you're located. Has it been like incredibly hot there for a while or anything? I don't remember where you're at. Says I may end up doing my other buck and then see what happens. Yeah. Oh, in East Texas. Okay. So I used to live in East Texas, actually. I lived in Nacogdoches for about 8 years. So your East Texas, it's probably been pretty warm. I don't think that that's going to cause the issue, but there is a chance that, you get prolonged temperatures above like 80, 85 degrees, and there is a chance your bucks can go sterile, at least for a little while, in the heat, because of the heat. I doubt that's it, but it's a possibility. Don says, what does a dewlap have to do with it? Mine has a huge one, but the young doe, 5 months old, has a tiny one. I don't know that there's a whole lot that it has to do with it. Hang on just one second. got Zach responding to me about QuailCon. There's not going to be a QuailCon this year. He's just got too much going on. Yeah, he's just got too much going on. He's had some changes in family and stuff, and is not going to be able to do QuailCon this year. So, okay, so back to what does a dewlap have to do with it? Yeah, I don't know that a dewlap has a whole lot to do with it at all. It's just typically you see from mature does a fairly good developed dewlap. So I think it's something we just kind of get used to reading or used to seeing and kind of get if they don't have much of a dewlap, you think maybe they wouldn't be good breeders. Lee says my 532 my Shire quail day 5 32 my Shire quail eggs in the Little Giant. Took 5 days to go, 142 miles for delivery. So, yeah, you should be good, though. I mean, 5 days isn't that long. And he, pretty much ships out eggs that were laid that day. So, I mean, it's not like he holds on to them for a period of time, usually. So much Joy says, I've read that, but my Tamuks have never had that problem. Yeah, I mean, Tamuks shouldn't have that problem, but every rabbit's an individual. So I've actually never had that problem either. But, sometimes an individual rabbit can be more susceptible to it than the rest of them. So much Joy says a dewlap is a sign of maturing and it grows to a large size to be ready for kits. She pulled fur from it to line her nest. So, yeah, I mean, kind of, yes, I agree. They do pull fur from their dewlap, but just because it's small or large or anything like that, I don't know if that really plays a part in anything other than just what we're used to seeing. Dawn says the one that had kits, her dewlap grew and then shrunk after. Now she bred again and it's growing. Interesting. Dawn says, oh, boo, no QuailCon. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but, it takes a lot of work to put that thing on, and he's just got a lot going on right now, so maybe we'll get one next year. Who knows? We'll see how things go. So much Joy says that's why I'm puzzled. The doe that didn't have a litter has such a small one. In her last litter several months ago, it grew very large. Interesting. Hey, that's got to be Lars. Yeah, it is Lars. Lars with 89 Danish crown, or I can't remember what they are. Danish money. Super chat. Thank you so much, Lars. I appreciate that. Haven't seen you in a while, but I always know it's you because you always jump in here and just throw money at me for no reason. Don't ask for anything in response. Dawn says to So Much Joy, thank you for explaining that. So Much Joy says, my pleasure. Yeah, always good. G. Michael says, do you present at any other homestead events? I haven't really. I did get contacted. There's supposed to be something going on in October in Granite City, Illinois, where I'm supposed to go speak. I can't remember the name of it right offhand, what the event's called. I've got it written down somewhere, maybe right here. No, I don't. But anyhow, it's in Granite City, Illinois. It's supposed to happen October 26th, I believe. But I haven't heard anything from him, so I don't know if that's still on. But I am supposed to present there. So we'll see if that actually happens. Aaron Guidros is also supposed to be there and present on quail, I believe. So Much Joy says, true. I'll keep that in mind about the heat. Actually, the doe, Ginger Snap, that didn't have the litter yesterday, refused to breed when we had the 17 Fahrenheit in mid-January. As soon as it hit 55, she was easy. Interesting. Dawn says, I am from Granite, and it is 1 hour and 10 minutes from me up where I live now. Well, interesting. You should be able to make it if it takes place then. I'll let you know more once I get, final that everything's actually going to take place. I'll kind of announce it probably on the channel. But that is, he did contact me, but that was been a while back that he contacted me, asked me about presenting there. And I said, sure. It's just kind of a homesteading type convention. I don't know if it's homesteading or just like self sufficiency. Raising your own meat. I know he's like I said, Aaron Guidros is going to be there and present on raising quail, and he wanted me to present on raising meat rabbits. So I don't know. We'll see. EUC Josh says I bred 3 does and 3 different bucks on 214. Day 31 was 317. One had one baby on the 18th. One doe delivered today. Haven't checked the quantity. One doe, nothing yet. We have no winter this year in Phoenix. Heat affects both male and female. It could be. No, it's not Aaron's event. It's put on by somebody else. Don's asking, is it Aaron's event or is he just part of it? He's just going to be a speaker there, from what I understand. I haven't talked to Aaron in a little while. He did hold an event this last year because QuailCon wasn't going on, so it was about the same time. It was like Gulf Coast Quail something. I can't remember the name of it exactly, but he did hold an event. I guess it went pretty well. I didn't make it, unfortunately, but hopefully it went well for him anyway. Rabbit Homesteading says, hey, Chris and all, hello to you too. How are we doing on time? We got about 10 minutes left, roughly. We'll see what else we can get going on in 10 minutes. Trying to think of what else I can share with you guys. Nothing else has been going on. There's nothing else too exciting. Just been going to work and coming home. So nothing terribly exciting anyway going on. Let's see. Dawn says, AI says the size of the dewlap does not directly indicate fertility. Instead, it is primarily a secondary sex characteristic that develops as a female rabbit reaches sexual maturity, typically between 4 to 6 months of age. Yeah, I think it's probably more like 6 to 8 months of age, depending on what breed. I mean, some of the smaller, like pet breeds, they'll reach maturity a little bit earlier, but generally with meat rabbits, you're looking at probably closer to 8 months and most of the time before they're big enough to start breeding. But yeah, the rest of it sounds right. Like I kind of said, it's not necessarily, you just get used to seeing a pretty decent dewlap on your rabbits, so you kind of expect it to be there. Donna says, I'm on day 17 of incubation tonight. I can already hear them chirping. Well, good luck on your hatch. Hopefully you have a great one. I have not started hatching for the year yet. I probably will here in the next couple of weeks. But I don't like I don't brood birds in the house. I brood them out in my shed, and I don't like to try to do that when it's like cold out. And we, like I said, we had snow on Sunday. So, it's still not out of the woods for cold yet. Although today was beautiful. I mean, yesterday was beautiful. Yesterday was a great day. It was, I think it was 56 degrees when I left the house at 8:30 in the morning to go load up on compost, and perfect day for being out there working outside. It wasn't too hot. Still worked up a little bit of a sweat, but it wasn't too terribly hot. Lee says, have you ever tried growing mushrooms? Not really. I mean, I had a little mushroom log of some kind that somebody gave me at one point. It never germinated or sprouted or whatever you call that. I tried it kind of, but it never worked. Don says, I have kits due on April 4th and have quail eggs set, and they will hatch on April 4th. It was an accident, LOL. Yeah, have kits and birds hatching at the same time, huh? Well, good luck. Hopefully that doesn't become too overwhelming for you. David Lister says, we gave our California buck, Abraham, a chance for date night with both our California does on different nights, Sarah and Lady. So you've got a buck named Abraham and a doe named Sarah, huh? Says absolutely no interest. Interesting. Is he a little bit overweight, maybe? Because it's rare, I think, for me to ever have a buck that's not willing to breed. So Much Joy says the turkey that is now hatching little poults hatched out 2 ducklings as well yesterday. When she went broody, we shoved several ducks and turkey eggs underneath her, and our geese are starting their nests. Yeah, it is springtime. It's about time for all that stuff to take place, isn't it? Rabbit Homesteading says a guy at work showed me some quail he has full grown. Look like Coturnics, but really small. I can't think of what they are other than young Coturnics. Can you think of a breed similar but small? Well, I mean, if you're used to jumbo Coturnics, standards are going to look pretty small compared to jumbos. So, I mean, that's, for the longest time, when I first started raising quail, you couldn't really hardly get jumbos. I mean, it was a rare thing, and now it's kind of the norm. So, if you see somebody that has standard size quail, they're probably Coturnics, but they're just standard size quail. Dawn says to Donis, can you hear them inside the incubator chirping? Right? Wait, you can hear them inside the incubator chirping, right? It's cool. Yeah, it is cool. G. Michael says, I know you sell rabbits. Are you selling quail and quail eggs locally too? Not often. I don't generally advertise for that. Every once in a while, I have somebody that wants some eggs or something like that, and I'll do something for them. But I don't. There's too many people selling that stuff to make it really worth it. The quail go for just like a couple of bucks a piece, and the eggs, I mean, there's so many people selling them around here. The market's just not great for it. So Much Joy says, a few lambs frolic in our field as well. I love spring. Yeah, spring is good. Spring is a fun time for sure. Andy Dundas says, I'm going to sign off. God bless. You too, brother. Hopefully you have a good night. Don says, I mean, inside the incubator, inside the egg shell chirping. Yeah, usually I think they start chirping about the time they pip the egg shell, but they're still technically inside the egg, so yeah, you can hear them. I don't know. I guess they could chirp while they're still inside the egg. I don't know how that would work exactly, but we got about 3 minutes left. Oh, my God, again. Oh, sorry. So 3 minutes left. We'll see what we can get done in the next 3 minutes before I have to wrap this one up for tonight. Yeah, I know. So Much Joy says you're going to make us all yawn now. I know. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm not too bad about that usually, but tonight has just been wearing me out. Rabbit Homesteading says, I've never seen normal Coturnics, so that makes sense. I forgot about the jumbo thing. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. That's probably what it is, though. Like I said, for the longest time, when I first started raising them, all I had was standard size quail. And, jumbos were kind of one of those mysterious things that, you've heard of them, but never actually seen one and didn't know anybody that had any. And it seemed like a kind of a myth kind of thing. But eventually they kind of took over. Donna says, good night, all. Always a pleasure. I'm off to the dinosaur omelet next. Well, have a good night. Thank you for joining. Truck Warden, I think it is, says, I've heard them chirping 2 days before they hatched. Scared me. Yeah, I've heard them chirping too, but I always think it's mostly when they're pipped the shell. Maybe not. I don't know. G. Michael says, do rabbits need to be at mature weight to breed, even if they are a year old? Well, they do need to be, basically mature weight. But if they're at a year old, they're probably full grown. So that is mature weight. Typically what you want them to be roughly about 80% of what their adult weight's going to be and at least 6 months old. So when both of those factors line up, so, like New Zealand white, you expect them to be about 10 pounds. So you'd want them to be about 8 pounds and at least 6 months old. But if they're a year old, that's probably about as big as they're going to get. So you're probably good to go ahead and start breeding. So Much Joy says the spring fatigue. Excuse me. Sucked a piece of dust in or something. All right, 8 o'clock. It is time to get this one wrapped up. So thank you guys for joining tonight. I appreciate that. Should see you next week. Don't see any reason why not. I'll try not to be as yawny, is that a word, as I have been tonight. And we'll see you guys next week, though. But thank you for joining. As always, God bless.